Welcome back. I'm now joined by Matthew from our business desk. Hello again, Matthew.
Hi, Claire.
Now, we've been talking about this all morning. That is, of course, the press conference given by François Hollande last night, and the main focus was on the economy.
Yes, that's right. And not surprising, really, with unemployment over 10%, and also the Bank of France predicting that perhaps France will slip back into recession by the end of this year. Well, the president said in his press conference that unemployment is likely to increase over the short to medium term, but he asked that he be judged on the economy overall over the whole term of his presidency.
French President François Hollande came out defending his 6-month record. He acknowledged that unemployment will continue to worsen in France for the next year, but vowed to reverse the trend.
But the only question in my eyes, the only one, is not a state of opinion today. It is the state of France will be in 5 years' time. My mission is a simple one. It is to recover growth and reduce unemployment. And it's on those results, and only those results, that I seek to be judged.
Hollande spoke of the humanitarian crisis in Syria, the economic disaster in Greece, but most expansively of the economy at home, particularly France's debt and the country's corporate competitiveness.
I thought it was a big moment of truth, of political will and unity. Truth in describing the state of affairs and the need to rebuild the social and economic structure of the country and to create opportunities for employment.
The president pledged to reduce the deficit to 3% of GDP. But for one of the leading candidates of the opposition UMP party, there wasn't enough detail.
Yet again, we've had no concrete measure. No strategic vision to improve the country's competitiveness, to reform the labour market, to reduce spending and the debt.
The president stressed the importance of justice, reminding the wealthy they'll be taxed at 75% for 2 years, and that tax loopholes will be eliminated.
And later this Wednesday, it'll be the American president, Barack Obama's turn to give a press conference.
That's right, press conference week for presidents. Barack Obama, Wednesday afternoon, Washington time, he will be speaking. And one of the major issues, of course, this looming fiscal cliff, the tax rises and spending cuts that face the US if they don't get a budget deal done. Well, it was announced as well that on Tuesday that the budget deficit for October was up by 22% on a year earlier, so that's helping to focus minds a little bit. On Tuesday, the US Treasury Secretary Timothy Geithner was also speaking about this fiscal cliff. Now, he was backing the president's view that taxes should go up for the wealthiest Americans, but he also warned against trying to delay solving this fiscal cliff issue. Let's take a listen.
If you say again, as we've had to do before, because there was no alternative, we're going to extend and delay, what gives people confidence that people who have to negotiate this will come to the table and negotiate? Because they'll always believe if they hold out, they could just extend again. So I know the cliff is unattractive. It would cause a lot of damage to the American economy. That damage is eminently avoidable, not that complicated to solve.
How the market's been reacting to all this uncertainty?
Well, the US markets didn't like it yesterday. They were all down. But in Asia, the markets this Wednesday have been trading up by the end of the session. The Hang Seng there in Hong Kong doing particularly well, over 1%. I can give you the European Open as well, what's been going here, and markets down across the board. So still some nervousness around, particularly over Greece, which we've been talking about a lot. Also, Claire, some results out here in France. The media and telecoms group Vivendi has reported its Q3 revenues. They were down just a bit, 3% to 6.6 billion euros, but they're feeling pretty confident. They've put up slightly their profit forecast for the whole year.
OK, we're going to stay in Europe, where finance ministers have been looking at how to get better control of the banks.
Yes, that's right. And this is because the banks were such a big problem throughout this crisis. Just think of Spain, which has been having problems and still looking to get bailout funds to help shore them up. Well, moves are afoot to strengthen the sector overall with a powerful supervisor. But while there's broad buy-in on the principle, sorting out the detail looks a little harder.
Divided over the banking union. Tuesday's meeting about bringing 6,000 Eurozone banks under common supervision has highlighted just how many hurdles remain. Germany is wary of giving up control over its local banks. Britain and Sweden are nervous about how much power the countries outside of the Eurozone would have compared to those within the single currency.
We are in a very, very difficult spot, and our reading of the treaty is very clear. Should have equitable treatment between non-members of the Eurozone and other members of the European Union.
The banking union proposal is a step towards greater economic and political integration between the Eurozone countries. Its supporters like France, Spain and Italy believe common supervision of 6,000 Eurozone banks would make it easier to deal with the bloc's financial problems. Despite the disagreements, officials believe it'll soon be in place.
We still have a lot of work ahead of us, but there is some momentum. I believe it's possible to have an agreement in December, although I know it will be difficult.
For a banking supervisor to work, there must be consensus on just how far its authority can stretch. The European Commission hopes that political agreement will come, allowing for a banking union to be in place next year.
Well, let's get some more of the day's company news. And the British drinks companies Britvic and AG Bar are merging. The two produce brands including Robinson's and the Scottish drink Iron Brew. The all-share merger will create one of the largest soft drinks companies in Europe. It'll be known as Bar Britvic Soft Drinks.
Toyota is recalling 2.8 million vehicles. The Japanese car maker says water pump and steering problems are to blame. It's the second such incident in the space of a few weeks. Toyota recalled 7.5 million vehicles last month over a separate problem.
And Nokia is hoping to profit from problems at its rival Apple. It's putting a mapping application called Here on sale in the next few weeks. That follows Apple's launch of its own app that misplaced towns and landmarks. Nokia is also beefing up its expertise in maps with plans to buy California-based mapping specialist Earthmine.
And staying with technology, a new phone by Google has already sold out.
Yes, they must be pretty pleased with this. This is the new Nexus 4 handset, which went on sale on Tuesday. A number of countries sold out here in France, in the UK and Australia in an hour, we're told. Why? Well, it's had pretty good reviews and a competitive price. It's selling here in France for €299 without a contract. That's about half the price of some other phones. So another challenger there for the iPhone, I suppose.
It's the world's
And to Australia, where the tourism industry has got a boost from that solar eclipse.
Yeah, so I think you were looking at that earlier, this solar eclipse. Well, it's not just an amazing thing to see, but it's helped the Queensland area, in particular Cairns, Port Douglas, where people were watching that. 50,000 more tourists in the region. That was expected to add $78 million or just over 60 million euros to the tourism industry there. And of course, this whole tourism industry for eclipses is a growing business with people travelling all around the world to watch these events. So I thought I'd tell you that the next one, you've probably been talking about this already, will be in March 2015. So if you want to book up,
where can you see it?
The best place, I'm glad you asked, is apparently Svalbard in Norway.
Norway,
Top
haven't
of Norway.
been. Might be my chance. Good
Now's
opportunity.
your chance.
Great. Thank you very much, Matthew. And thank you for watching. Do stay tuned to France 24.